Thank you for coming. After everything you've already done for Ravenrock, I hate to ask for more, but I can't risk Councillor Morvain being killed. The Ulan family of House Lalu, a rival great house, has placed a death mark on the Councillor's head. It's a private matter. Let's just say they seek revenge for the execution of one of their own, ordered by Councillor Morvain himself. The problem is I don't have any solid proof that anyone from House Lalu is hidden among us. Only my suspicions. It may be justified, but it certainly isn't appreciated. Councillor Morvain simply feels that I'm being paranoid. I'm afraid that one day I'll awaken and discover him dead. And I don't want it to come to that. I do. I've received some information from my sources that there could be elements of Ulan's house, House Lalu, already in Ravenrock. Ravenrock is a small settlement, so it's hard to accomplish anything in secret. If any of them is from House Lalu, I wouldn't be able to make a move without them knowing. I had a feeling you'd be willing to listen to me. I need you to start out by being my eyes and ears. Search Ravenrock. See if you can root out these traitors. The best place to start would be Geldis Sadri, over at the Retching Netch Corner Club. If he provides you any leads, check them out before bringing them to my attention. I can't afford to make any mistakes. Traitors. The lot of them. Their collaboration with the Empire may have given them unrivaled political and economic strength, but their hearts weren't with the Dunmer people. Lalu deserved every bit of hatred they received once the Empire released its grasp on Morrowind. Having past ties to the Empire immediately turned them into the scapegoat for the Dunmer people's suffering. They had welcomed the Empire with open arms and benefited from it. When everything was said and done, they were no longer recognized as a great house and were dismissed from the council. You might think it's all perfume and roses now that the mine's open. But all I see is a new security problem on our hands. Making sure those shipments of ebony make it safely from the mine to the shipping docks is my new order of the day. And with Solstheim crawling with reavers and Azora knows what else, I can't risk any attacks on Ravenrock. I maintain a few contacts in other Dunmer settlements across Tamriel. Most hail from House Redoran, but there are a few from other houses. Most of my contacts live leagues away from Solstheim. Sending the occasional message back and forth is all we can manage, and sometimes takes months or more to arrive. However, any information we can glean in times like this I consider vital to House Redoran's survival. During the Oblivion Crisis, gates to the Plane of Oblivion opened all over Morrowind. The Empire pulled most of its forces out of Morrowind to deal with the gates in their own homeland, leaving us virtually defenseless. We had no standing army at the time, just uncoordinated pockets of resistance. House Redoran took charge and was slowly able to build an army. It took years, but it became a force to be reckoned with. When the Argonians invaded years later, House Redoran's army was able to prevent them from sweeping across all of Morrowind. It would be fair to say that House Redoran literally saved the Dunmer people from destruction. Don't worry, you can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time.
Just remember who...
The mine's open, people are buying drink. Well, well, Adril's got himself a spy, does he? Azura knows he needs all the help he can get. He's been chasing the Ulans for years now. No, I just think he's going about this the wrong way. Actually, I do. If you want to catch those slippery slaughterfish, you need to let them come to you. There's an Ulan ancestral tomb near the temple. Someone's been leaving ash yam offerings on the altar inside. If you were to wait inside for whomever that is, I'm betting they'll have some of the answers you're looking for. What makes you think I haven't? Anytime Adril and the Redarin Guard made a move, the Ulans must have been one step ahead and didn't show up. You can thank me if it works. Until then, I'd head to the tomb and wait until your visitor shows up. Back in 95, Vila Ulan came to Raven Rock with a plan to take over our town. The Fetcher thought he could stir up the locals and use them against the Redarin Guard and then murder Consular Morvain when we weren't looking. He arrived alone, but spread enough coin around to start changing people's minds. Half the bloody town joined his side. Can you believe that? He underestimated the Redarin Guard. They were organized and brought a swift end to the coup. Vila tried to run, but he was caught by Captain Veleth himself. Vila Ulan was executed a short time later, and his remains placed in the Ulan ancestral tomb. When a Dunmer is laid to rest, the body is burned and returned to the ashen soil. Since the ash yam is born of the very same soil, it represents rebirth and renewal, the fact that life ends and begins anew. Harry, I've got regular paying customers again. Thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count.
What's our next move? Oh, fine. Go on. Leave me here. When you decide. I was enjoying our travels together before we parted company. I'd be happy to rejoin you for no charge, if you're interested. Robert!
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner. The mine's open, people are Sure thing, it's yours for a... Haven't heard anything lately. Nothing specific, but I'm hearing rumblings of assassins living... Nothing specific, but I'm hearing rumblings of assassins living amongst us. I think they intend... Target Consular Morvain when I come. Pretty certain. Come back if you're feeling thirsty. I'll set you up right.
The mines are open and the shop is busy again. Thank you.
Headed east. May want to give the Telmithran a wide berth.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Got this from a pretty excited-looking dark elf around Raven Rock. He said it was important I got it to you as soon as I could. Looks like that's it. Got to go. Nope. Sorry. Nothing.
Excuse me. I didn't realize there was anyone else here. I presume the same thing you're doing, leaving an offering for the departed. Nice to see a fellow Dunmer following the traditional customs. Since there aren't any Ulans left on this island, I've taken it upon myself to leave the traditional offering in their stead. What kind of nonsense is that? I'm simply honoring a fellow departed Dunmer, and you hurl baseless accusations at me? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to meditate a bit. Please, I don't wish to be disturbed while I'm meditating.
You lost?
Traveling beyond the bulwark will be
I hope
much
Geldis
safer
proved
as a result of
Telesu.
victory at Fort Frostmourne.
Are you sure?
Many thanks.
So Geldis's plan worked, eh? Every time we tried it, no one would ever show up. If Telesu's involved in any sort of plot to harm Councillor Morvain, I'm going to need hard evidence to prove it. I'm not kicking down anyone's door until I have solid evidence in hand. If you're wrong about Telesu, things would quickly go downhill around here, and the real culprits might slip away. I can't afford for that to happen. If you have evidence, and it places your life in peril, I would expect you to do whatever you must to keep yourself alive. Here, this key should open the front door of the manor in case they've locked it. Good luck. Telesu is wife to the family patriarch Vendel. They have a single child, a daughter named Miri. They arrived here 10 years ago and have been nothing but a benefit to Raven Rock ever since. They're quite wealthy, and they've been quite generous by sharing their fortune with the community. They've contributed coin, food, supplies, even helped repair a few of the buildings in town with their own hands. People have mentioned it's a bit odd about how close in age Mary appears to be to her father, but that's hardly a cause for alarm. Just make sure you find solid evidence. If I accuse them without it, I'll be the laughing stock of the colony. Villa Ulan wasn't the first Ulan to live in Raven Rock. His father, Valen Ulan, was one of the first Dunmer to settle here. Unlike his son, Villa, Valen was a good man. He contributed to the community and was quite respected. When Valen died, his family provided the funds to construct the tomb. The Ulan family being a part of House Lalu didn't matter. It's Dunmer's tradition for the ashes of the deceased to be placed in an ancestral tomb. Valen Ulan and his son's remains were both laid to rest there because that's what he'd requested. Be careful. If the Severans have been...
They serve the best sujam I've ever tasted over for Wretched Netch. Worth every quart. You lost?
Did you find it? Then we finally have them. All that remains now is chasing them down and bringing them to justice. Good. I'm going to send 2 of the best Guard we have to take them down. I want you to assist them any way you can. See that you do. We can't afford to let these traitors slip away. Ashfallow Citadel's been abandoned for a long...
Careful with those flames, unless you plan on torching something.
Oh, it's you. This isn't good. We only got a little ways in when something managed to wake up the Draugr. Before I could blink, all the miners were dead, and I was next in line. Don't think anyone else made it out alive. This is what I get for skimping on labor. Well, unless you want to deal with the Draugr, this whole little venture of ours is over. Might be over either way. It looked like a dead end before the place started crawling. We could have missed something, though. I don't know. Any luck? Just finish the job. If you want back in a couple of hours, I'll start packing up. Any luck? Well, perhaps there's some hope for us yet. Now, I have to go recruit some more miners. It won't be easy, seeing as none of their friends came back from the first attempt. We'll have to sweeten the pot a bit this time. I think I'll need, say, 2,000 seplums to hire replacements. I never get tired of that sound. It'll take me a few days to dig up some more laborers, but swing back when you get a chance. See how we're doing.
Back so soon. Wet, you say? I suppose, yes, I can see how that would have inverted the tether. Unfortunate. Couldn't you simply avoid water? No, that won't do. Can't have you forego bathing. The ashlands can leave one a bit pungent, and it's obvious you've been through them. Here, I'll just remove it. Here's a bit of coin. Should help mitigate your inconvenience. That Drovus man? I suppose he'll do. He makes dreadful Canis root tea, though. But I should be grateful. Here, take this for your efforts. Oh, and you may use my staff enchanter if you want. My new steward, I've been having difficulties with my Hearthstone experiments. Have you heard of the Briarhearts? They are fierce warriors of the Forsworn tribes. They actually remove their own hearts and replace them with large briar seeds. It puts their life sparks in direct connection to the natural forces. I need you to examine one of them. Just investigate as much as you can. I'm going to put this memory trace spell on you, so you won't have to worry about taking notes. I doubt you could know what was important anyway. The Forsworn live in the hills on the western edge of Skyrim. From there, you're on your own. I'm given to understand that they are not difficult to find, if you gather my inference. Well, I'm hoping to do something similar. If I could connect a living being to the forces of the Red Mountain, well, that would be formidable. I've done some experiments in this area, but, well, my test subjects are far too fragile. I'm hoping to learn some of the Briarheart techniques, their methods. I would venture out myself, but long voyages are dangerous and risks are precisely what people like you are for. The man makes a dreadful cup of Canis root tea. However, he seems to run the place well enough. Oh, were you fishing for a compliment, a sign of gratitude? Don't waste your time. Those things are for the weak and foolish. It is the... Although I managed to transplant the... It has rolling green clay. You are too young to remember. There is the... House Telvanni has it. Red Mountain dominates. It's the home. We built great when the city... We are still but a shadow of our glory. I call... It wouldn't do to have you become better than me after all.
Good day, friend. Keeping well?
house...
I've been trained by the Tong! Well, what happened? Were you able to track down Vendel? Out with it! Then, it's finally over. What of the Redoran Guard I sent to assist you? Damn it. I was hoping to protect our people by sending them, not end up with casualties. To think that Vendel would stoop so low as to hire those fetchers. I'm glad you killed him. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. Councillor Morvain will be quite pleased when he hears about this.
Anything from my stand today?
Follow me, and I'll take you to the Councillor so you can speak to him yourself.
Look, I know why you're here. I'll get the coin, I promise. If you want that beautiful wife of yours to stay that way, then...
You lost?
Excuse me, Councillor Morvain. I have some wonderful news.
Adriel, I haven't seen a smile on your face like that in a long time.
This visitor has single-handedly dealt with a threat that could have ended your life. Vendel, Telesue, and Miri Severin weren't who they appeared to be. I'm
You've
afraid
brought
they
Raven
were
Rock
here
back
to
from the
avenge
brink,
Villa
traveler.
Ulan's death.
I don't know how to thank you.
Vendel? But he's done so
If
much
you're looking for
Raven Rock.
supplies, talk to
How
Fethis.
could this be possible?
He'll set you up with
They
whatever
did
you
it
need.
to gain our confidence, Councillor. They had us all fooled. I should have been more vigilant. I'm sorry.
Don't say that. It's not your fault, old friend. And you, step forward. What you've done for me, for all of Raven Rock, goes far beyond what I would
How
have
much longer
expected
do
from
you
a
intend
traveler
to
to our
serve this
town.
shield, Admiral?
For this,
The
you have my
Council
deepest
tasked me with keeping
gratitude.
Laeral alive, which I've
Now,
done without question for
I'm
over
certain
100 years.
Adriel was prepared to
He's the
reward you
closest
appropriately
thing I've
for
had to
everything
a
you've
brother.
done.
And we all
However,
our lives.
Since a bit
I
of
could
coin
suddenly
hardly
turn
seems
my
like
back.
enough, I've
I'm
decided to
sorry,
provide
my love.
something
It's this island.
more
It's never
substantial.
felt the same since we left Vardenfell.
Since the Severin
It's as though
family,
a part
or
of
whoever
me
they
is
were,
missing.
turned out to be
Every
criminals,
Dunmer left
their
a piece of
property is
themselves
now
behind when
forfeit.
they departed our homeland.
As councillor,
All we can
I
do
hereby
is
award
make the
you
most of what we
Severin
have.
Manor and everything contained within. You've earned your citizenship here, and I hope you'll consider staying with us as a member of our community. The mines are open and the ebony has begun to flow because of your discovery.
Your
My
efforts in
eternal
Ravenrock have
gratitude
proven
and
most
blessings.
invigorating for my
Ever seen a
husband.
veteran guard
I haven't
before?
My
seen him
doors are
displeased
open if
in
you
many
wish to
years.
discuss matters involving
My husband is second.
Plenty of work in Vermont if you're looking.
With the Ashbourne threat taken care of, I can give my men the rest they deserve. Well done, friend. Modin Veleth, captain of the Redoran Guard, at your service. It can be. Even the most experienced warriors can fall prey to petty distractions. They usually didn't amount to much, but they make my job that much harder. Some of my own men have become quite accustomed to a spirit they called Emberbrand wine. Despise the stuff myself. It's powerful and tremendously addicting. I've seen men fail to finish even a single flask. If I knew where they were stashing the bottles, I'd put an end to it myself. You would? That would be helpful. I just don't have time to do it myself right now. They're too smart to have left it in the bulwark. I'd search one of the abandoned houses on the outskirts of town. Ah, this is bone mold armor. Quite impressive, wouldn't you say? It's fashioned from actual bone that's been reinforced with a resin-like material and then shaped to form the armor plating. It might appear brittle, but I'd wager it could stop the blow of a weapon better than iron or steel. All of the soldiers in this... I've spent quite a few years to protect Council. Yes, quite... Other than that, I'm not a... I've had second... I say let them try. My men are ready for them.
Seems you've inherited a situation. Drovus Relvi owes me 1,000 septims. At least he did until you set him up with that Telvanni wizard. Now he's untouchable. The way I figure it, it's your fault he can't pay me. So I guess I'm going to have to collect it from you. Nothing for now, but watch your back. I'll be sending collectors to find you. They won't ask so nicely. One way or the other, I'll get my money. Tired of running? I knew you were weak. Now pay me. Yeah, that sounds good. Half. I think that'll work. Until next time. I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way.
I work for
and we'll
Mogul.
do just fine.
You got a problem?